I have been. I've just read Unicorn and very much enjoyed it. I've watched Cabin Fever 2. I've watched The Founder and Nightfall. But esteemed audience hasn't done those things. They're about to. They're learning about you and they're curious. So for them who does not know your background, I'd never summarize anybody else's book or anyone else's background. That's how I ensure people are going to come back on the show eventually. So Joshua, we'll start with you. Give esteemed audience kind of an overview of your background, and then we'll dig into Unicorn.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a filmmaker based in Los Angeles with a background in the visual arts, painting and sculpture, and have been a screenwriter for about 20 years and written about 24 scripts professionally, of which one has squeaked through the Play-Doh Fun Factory of Hollywood. And that one was Cabin Fever 2. Co-wrote The Source with the illustrious Don Handfield right here. And yeah, I'm hopefully about to embark on a film adaptation of Unicorn, should the rainbows of 2022 smile upon us. That's me in a nutshell.
And sure, as far as my background, I mean, I started as an actor, came to Hollywood to be an actor. I'd also had been writing screenplays, and I think at a certain point just realized I had to do one or the other. And I think acting is a job where you have to wait for people to call you. You're sort of the last one of the party, and writing something I could do anytime myself and kind of control. And so I chose writing and worked in cable TV for a little bit. I was a producer at Entertainment Television and helped launch the G4 network for Comcast, and then started getting jobs as a studio writer. Would write for DreamWorks and Paramount. I was awful at taking notes, and I had to sort of learn the hard way how to receive feedback constructively. And that sort of journey led me to kind of producing and writing. And I when I started a company with an actor named Jeremy Renner, he was a good friend of mine from my acting days, and I had a bunch of ideas as a writer that I started doing as just a producer, like hiring writers, and was fortunate enough to hire a really talented writer named Rob Siegel to do an idea that had been in my head for many years about McDonald's, and that became The Founder. And I wrote a script on spec with a spec pilot with a writing partner and collaborator of mine named Richard Rayner, and we were fortunate enough to get that made into Knightfall. Then he and I wrote a comic book called The Rift that we sold to Amblin and Steven Spielberg that became one of the amazing stories. And I kind of fell in love with the medium of comic books. And, Josh has been a good friend and a collaborator, and we did The Source together. And then we both had kids at the same age, and we were going through kind of a lot of things personally that we were dealing with as both parents and children who were growing up. And we kind of settled on doing this Unicorn together, which has been a great experience. And that's kind of what led us to where we are now.
Well, tell your friend Jeremy Renner to hang in there wherever he is. I'm sure something will break his way eventually.
Yeah, he'll get there, man. I keep encouraging him. If he works on his chops a little bit, he'll find some success. But no, he's doing very well for himself, and he's
tell him to practice archery. That should help.
Yeah, he's an incredibly talented guy and a good friend, and yeah, he's doing very well. So.
And you did Kill the Messenger with him, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did a movie called Kill the Messenger with actually by a great writer named Peter Landesman, who actually is just signed on to adapt a comic book that I'm producing that was written by a guy named Jonathan Hedrick called The Recount. It's also another great book, a really great book, very timely, oddly sort of captured a moment, but not in a political manner. But it's a great story that I hope to be able to make into a film as well.
Is that the one that you were doing kind of with Andy Serkis, or is that a different one?
No, the Andy Serkis one is called Eternus, and that is from a concept by Andy Serkis and Andrew Levitas, who's a filmmaker who just did Minimata with very talented artist and filmmaker, did Minimata with Johnny Depp. He's also like a fine artist who does incredible like metalwork pieces and stuff like that. And they had this concept, myself and Anna Davis, who was a writer that I met in a writer's room I had for a TV show I was developing, came together to write the series and had a lot of fun doing it. And it's going to launch. The Ashcan launched at New York Comic Con in October, and the 7-issue series is going to launch next year, I think around June or July.